Hello, this is Sam Simon, also known as Dementia Man, and this is my blog for the week of December 28th, at New Year's week, the end of 2025 and the beginning of 2026. Wow, January 1st, 2026. You know what that means? I think you're going to be the oldest people in the baby boomer generation will be 80 years old. That's right. The baby boomer generation started at just about at 1 second after midnight in 1946. The first minute of 1946. And so on the first minute of 2026, those very first people in that first year will be 80 years old. There are a lot of people following them. So this topic and this life and this cognitive area is going to be the one of the, if not the biggest medical and life journeys of the next period of time. In fact, throughout the next era of the 80th years of the baby boomers is they turn 80. My youngest sister was born 5 years after me. So she is a boomer and she's 75. So she represents that era. And I think it's just remarkable. It makes this discussion and this journey, and I hope this work that I choose to be involved in, to take my journey with Alzheimer's or cognitive decline and life and living life as a senior with cognitive decline, yet the decline, I guess I've let it define my life. And it is also the vision of living a meaningful life in this era and this time of our lives. There's a lot of stuff out there in the news already about brain health and how to live healthy during this era of your life. And there's increasing attention to the diseases of the brain and their causes, and hoping for cures and treatments that um, help add even more years to our lives. So I have a couple of things I want to do. I don't want to take up too much of your time this New Year's week. Um, you probably have already taken back all your returns and are still getting used to your big presents from this Christmas. So enjoy. Um, I think back on my year, so New Year's is a time to think back on the year. And it's been a great year. Great year with Alzheimer's. What an oxymoron. Yes, it has been. My play has um, been very successful. We've been performing all over the country. We've it's been a lot of fun in Hilton Head. We had a great time in California, um, and a number of West Virginia. Um, and so I'm still performing. I'll be in a number of places already booked this year, including Charlottesville, Virginia, two performances in the first week of February. But before that, in January, I'll be at a library here. I'm blanking on the name of it in Northern Virginia. Uh, I've been doing book talks already, and I'm going to have a book talk in January at here locally at our racket club where I go to work out every day. Um, and going to be I know I'm going to be in New Jersey this year. Just a matter of when. Oh, and what I'm really excited about, I am going to be a guest at Stony Brook Medical Center, and one of, I think, 3 or 4 people who will speak to the incoming class of medical students. And let them hear from people with diseases. I'm really excited about that. I think that I really want to hear their questions. So I'm really looking forward to a great year. I'm really would hope that um, you, the audience, those who listen to this, yes, I um, would be, get the book, but more importantly, speak to senior living centers, local theaters with smaller venues, and encourage them to be in touch and what it would take to bring Dementia Man to your community. I'd love to be there. We can have book talks. We can have the play itself. I can sign books for folks, and we can raise the visibility in your community of this era of change, of cognitive change in people, of the aging baby boomers and their children. You might be the child of a boomer, and faced with how do I take care of them and what are my choices? How do I relate with them? Um, so I'm excited about this coming year. I hope you are too. And I'm excited about being able to continue with this work. Um, I do want to give a shout out, of course, to Susan, my cognitive navigator. Uh, and she comes with me on each trip. Oh, and the big other thing this coming year, huge, we're moving. I don't remember if I've already mentioned that. We have decided to move into a senior living center in nearby Falls Church. We live in McLean, Virginia. Um, maybe you don't know that my son is a state member of the House of Delegates in Virginia. And in this new apartment, we'll be able to vote for him for the first time. He's very senior. He's 25th in seniority out of 100. So I think he's been reelected 12 times, but we've never been able to vote for him before, but we'll be in his district and we can vote for him. Yay! And more importantly, in thinking about life and where to be, it's a new facility. It's being built, and I'm not going to use their name because I don't think it's appropriate yet. But they are, um, they're rental, and they have a memory for people with memory, for people who need to be in a safe memory unit. But they allow the spouse to stay with you in that unit. That was really important. Like, oh, and what else happens? Susan and I have our 60th wedding anniversary next year. That's what we're looking forward to. And we won't be in our new senior living place yet, but we'll be deep in the um, downsizing place. It is an emotional journey. So I want to wish everybody else a happy new year. Please keep following us. Keep looking out for book talks, shows in your area. And if not, again, a lot of places that like to bring the play are senior living centers and your local center on aging, whether it's an area agent, it could be just an area aging group, or it could be your local city or county senior living unit. I think in Maryland there was one called the Department of Aging and Inclusion, and they booked me in one of their local college theaters. Many colleges have geriatric programs, and they might want to be able to present this show. And of course, I'd love to do book talks for you. We can do that virtually for your community, as well as perhaps in real time. So anyway, but more than one other goal of mine. I've been writing poetry. If you get the book, you'll see my dementia poetry. And I also had poetry around what I call love poetry, which was when I was provoked to write poetry about being the care partner of my wife, Susan. She went through her breast cancer. It's called The Actual Dance, Love's Ultimate Journey with Breast Cancer. And I've written poetry about a lot of different sort of significant parts of my life, about being about hearing the news of someone who has passed, um, and things like that. I'm going to call it existential poetry because for some reason that's what I seem to do. Write about existential moments in life, love and loss and anticipatory loss. They can be gifts. They can be the time where we really recognize what love really means. So I'm going to read one poem. I'm going to just recite it. Then I'm going to read another one. You've heard me do it before, but it's in the book too. It's my favorite. It came after I wrote it in light of my understanding that Susan and I were each an equal half of the other. And that's what love really meant, is when our souls are being this interconnected. And I wrote a poem called Us. And it's a short, simple one. It's in the book. Life exists within each of us as a form of the divine, a tangible essence of who we are. Love is when our essence became entwined, each an equal half of the other. I love you simply awakens the us in you and me. I wrote a New Year's poem. I wrote it 12 years ago. And that's what I want to read today for you. And it is not in the book, but I hope it'll be it's something that you might be able to remember. So let me put it in front of my screen. And this poem is called, and it was written December 31st, 2013. So this is Before the Ball Falls. A New Year's Eve. We take a breath for the briefest of instants before the ball falls. Listening for any shift or change, praying that orchestras are playing elsewhere or nowhere, and will for the entire new year. I'd love to just say goodbye after that, but let me provide a context. An orchestra playing refers to the experience when I thought Susan was about to die and had a sense of being with her in the middle, in a liminal place. There is a place between here and there, this earth and wherever there is. And in this liminal place is an orchestra, is a ballroom and a gigantic dance floor. And there's a orchestra off to one side. And in that moment, well, where you or I and Susan or you and whoever your love partner is are ready to dance the last dance, the actual dance. And we dance to whatever music we want to hear, which only we hear. But we're surrounded by everyone we've ever met, ever known, ever loved in our entire lives. And even generations from before us, our family too, as well as our children and maybe grandchildren now. And then I wondered, maybe even generations yet to come in this liminal place. As Susan and I would have danced, and as she took her last breath, left her spirit, her soul left my arms and traveled to a new place. So when I say, and now with that context, maybe say again, let me say it again. I hope I don't bore you. That poetry of when the ball falls, or before the fall, before the ball falls. New Year's Eve, we take a breath for the briefest of instants before the ball falls, listening for any shift or change, praying orchestras are playing elsewhere or nowhere, and will for our entire new year. So may your new year be filled with health and meaning and love. And see ya in 2026.